Why are you actually getting into my questions?
Oh,
You are. I'm supposed to be asking you.
I'm sorry. Why are you getting a crown? And why are you getting a veneer?
Who come with, who normally have issues with grinding their teeth together, and it's involuntary, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, would you advise for such patients to get crowns or veneers? Hi guys! Did you know that your smile is actually golden? So we are here today with that episode, and I am your lovely host, Brenda. So today we have a very important guest. Um, he's done dentistry in ATA University, Adventist University of the Philippines. Yeah, something of the sort. I'm not really sure. He's also practiced in Philippines and in Kenya. So our guest is none other than Dr. Moses Kinoti. So tell us, who is Dr. Moses?
Aha. It's a good question. First of all, hi Brenda, how are you?
I'm fine, Dr. Moses. How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Good to see you too. Thank you for having me on.
You're welcome.
Yes. So to answer your question, who is Dr. Moses? It's a good question, actually. It makes me think so much on the spot. I wasn't expecting it. You'd imagine that that's the question you need to have answers of, like on your fingertips.
Yes.
But
Yes.
yeah, but I would say Dr. Moses is a practitioner, a dentist that loves and cares for humanity.
Mm-hmm.
So I care for human beings. I care for health and nutrition. And that's also how I landed in this career of being a dentist. So I do care about people's well-being. I'd like to improve people's well-being in whichever way possible, not just in dentistry. Dentistry just happens to be my profession or my trade, for lack of a better term. But in all ways that I can, I really try to be of benefit to humanity. I love music. Yes, I do love music. I'm sure everyone loves music, but not like me. I love music more. Yeah. But I do love music. Into fitness.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm into fitness, and I believe that it's important in part of that well-being to be well-rounded, so also to be fit, to be able to move functionally well, which translates to also a lot of other things. I would say I'm also a family person, married with one child, daughter. Happily married. I have to put that.
Okay.
Happily married.
Okay.
Yeah, and I believe so. I believe that is, in a nutshell, what describes Dr. Moses. I believe I am also an emotional person, which it was very hard for me to accept
Okay.
it. Yes, but I
You
do
are?
believe, yes, I'm an emotional person. That means that I tend to be more in line with how people are feeling.
Uh-huh.
And I usually react or kind of adjust myself based on that. And I believe that has been, in my experience so far, a great, characteristic that has helped me practice dentistry. I believe in a way that is satisfying to me.
Okay. One of the few people I've actually heard that they are affected emotionally. Okay.
Yes.
We also, as me like a lady,
Yeah.
I do not accept my emotions.
Yeah. Not
I
easy.
do not accept my emotions. And I think one thing I love about Dr. Moses, he's a great balance master. He's not into too much of practice. He's also not into too, like, he's trying to balance life and everything at the same time. Like, how do you go to the gym in the morning and then the next he talked about music. He's a dancer, by the way.
Oh.
You know, I told us, but then I have to say it. I had to say it. I had to say it. He's a dancer, and he is so good at what he does. Because I think I've had a root canal done by him, and not even one day has it ever pained me. So, yeah, I'm one of the patients.
Hey. Well, good to hear. Good to hear that everything is okay. We usually hope and pray that we do our best. And I usually say that when it comes to dental treatment and whatever I do my maximum best, and I leave the remaining part for God to do the rest. So yeah, I'm happy to
Mm.
hear that. He always holds up his end. So that's that's
Ah,
good. That's good to hear.
okay, okay, okay. So today we're talking about something so many people have been asking
Mm.
about crowns and veneers. So what are crowns? What are veneers?
That's a good question. So, crowns and veneers. So, first off, let me just bring it from a perspective of what they are and what they're meant to serve, what the
Mm-hmm,
purpose they're meant to serve. So,
mm-hmm,
crowns and veneers, in a way, they're crown. A crown is a type of placement that you put on top of a tooth for multiple reasons. So ideally, the whole function of a crown is to bring back what the tooth is supposed to do.
mm-hmm,
So, for example, chewing, right?
mm-hmm,
Function. You're supposed to be able to eat.
mm-hmm,
So crowns allow a person to get back that function of eating. Secondly, it's the appearance. So a crown is also supposed to allow a tooth to look like it's healthy. Yeah, that's number one. So, or to look good, for lack of a better term, because when it comes to veneers now,
mm-hmm,
veneers they serve more of an aesthetic purpose.
mm-hmm,
They can also be functional,
mm-hmm,
but mostly they serve an aesthetic purpose. There's a reason why you're getting a veneers is the appearance of your teeth does not look good for whatever reason. Maybe it could be the shape of the tooth. It could be discoloration, staining. There's so many different reasons.
mm-hmm,
Someone can go for that, but
mm-hmm,
for veneers, it tends to lie a little bit more towards the aesthetic reasons.
mm-hmm,
Whereas for crowns, they can be aesthetic, yes,
mm-hmm,
but they also serve a very important functional role. Yeah, so a crown is just a place, something you place on top of a tooth in
mm-hmm.
order to give the tooth back its aesthetic and give it back majorly its function.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So, what is the main difference between a veneer and a crown?
All right. So I touched on aesthetics and function. So
Yeah.
it's a very minor, I would say,
Mm-hmm,
difference
mm-hmm,
or a comparison of the two.
mm-hmm,
But majorly, what we're looking at is the structural presentation of the
mm-hmm,
tool.
mm-hmm,
So when we do a
mm-hmm,
crown is usually it's a full coverage. So a crown covers an entire tooth.
mm-hmm.
When a crown comes on top of a tooth, all you see is crown. At no
Ah.
point are you seeing the natural tooth. So the natural tooth is covered and safe underneath crown.
Mm-hmm,
A veneer
mm-hmm,
is more partial. So a veneer does not cover an entire tooth. The veneer will only cover, we call it the labial or the buccal surface, which is the front side, the
mm-hmm,
one that people see. So the veneer will cover the front surface of the tooth
mm-hmm,
mostly
mm-hmm.
and slightly on the edge of the tooth, which is on this side. If it's the upper side, we'll be
Uh-huh.
talking about the edge of the tooth, a
Mm-hmm,
bit of that.
mm-hmm,
So most of the inside,
mm-hmm,
which we call lingual
mm-hmm.
or palatal surfaces, are usually not covered
Covered by
by the
the
veneer.
veneers.
Yeah, so it's mostly it's a partial coverage, whereas for crown we're talking about full coverage.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So I think you've answered my question
Ah,
satisfactorily.
thank you.
Uh, so about so people tend to ask,
Mhm,
in terms of veneers and crowns,
mhm,
which one is actually better than the other one?
mm,
Because you find at some point that the veneer people say, I've had this argument before
mhm,
that veneers, like there's more destruction on your tooth, on your natural tooth, on crowns
uh-huh.
compared to veneers. So what's your take on that?
All right. So that's a good question as well. So
Mm-hmm,
I think the best way to look at it is because each of these different let me call them treatment options or procedures,
mm-hmm,
they serve a purpose. So number one, the purpose must be served. Why are you getting a crown and why are you getting a veneer? I think answering that question usually will give you the right answer of the right procedure to do.
mm-hmm,
For example, if I had a root canal done on a tooth,
mm-hmm,
just an example,
mm-hmm,
on the tooth, let's say it's a molar, a tooth at the back.
mm-hmm,
What you do is you would now get a crown after the root canal has been done. Why? Because we're trying to get back the tooth to be functional. The tooth having a root canal done is safe for a period. Usually, after root canal is done, the tooth gets weak. If it gets weak, it can become brittle, and at some point, you never know when. Could be 3 months, could be less, could be more. The tooth can easily break. So to prevent the breaking, what we're doing with the crown is we're restoring function by preventing the breakage from happening.
Yeah.
So that's what that's the purpose the crown would serve.
Mhm.
So I would not put for example a
That
crown.
this is more better than the other one.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not.
it
It's
depends
more
on
of
the
the
purpose.
purpose exactly. So
Okay.
as long as the purpose is served,
Mhm.
you'll be able to get the best of what it's supposed to give you in terms of treatment or in terms of results.
Mhm.
For example, a front tooth that doesn't have a root canal, it's more of aesthetic.
Mhm.
I would usually go for
A
a veneer
veneer.
because the concern is not that I cannot eat. It's not because it's because I don't like how it appears. So
Okay.
if I was to choose, I would definitely go for veneer. If I go for a crown, it doesn't need full coverage. It's not a weak tooth.
Mhm.
It's not going to break anytime soon.
Mhm.
So then I wouldn't actually go into getting a crown on a front tooth.
Oh.
Yeah, as compared to a
Okay,
veneer.
so I tend to think you've already mentioned two instances where we need crowns and veneers.
Mhm.
We have the aesthetics bit of it. We also have in cases where you've had a root canal done before.
Yeah,
So, what are the other indications that might show me actually need a crown
a
or a
crown.
veneer?
All right. So let's tackle one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So for veneer,
Mm-hmm.
for veneer, I'd like to say I also tell this to my patients.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, veneer being aesthetic, it's very, very subjective. So you cannot come to me and I'll tell you, yeah, you must get a veneer. No, first it must come from you
Mm-hmm.
as a patient. Do you
Mm-hmm.
feel like you have an issue with the appearance of your teeth in terms of discoloration?
Mm-hmm.
Number one,
Mm-hmm.
any heavy stains.
Mm-hmm.
Something else to throw out there is also fluorosis.
Mm-hmm.
If any of those things bother you, then a veneer would be an option I would give you as something to consider for aesthetics. Other people will go with improving the shape
Other
of the tooth.
teeth.
Yeah, as long as it's not too much
Mm-hmm.
of a change
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't affect the structural integrity of the tooth, it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't affect the alignment of the
Mm-hmm.
tooth in a way that's going to be negative,
Mm-hmm.
then it can serve that purpose as well. So that is for the veneer. Sorry, back to your question again. Can you can you remind me the question? Sorry, go ahead,
So,
sorry, go ahead.
we were asking about the
Yes,
indication. So we talked
indications.
about yeah.
Okay, Nisha, for a crown, yes, thank you. So for the crown, the indication would be,
Uh-huh.
since it's mostly functional,
Mm-hmm.
for a crown, what we're looking at is one, we talked about the root canal.
Mm-hmm.
Root canal has been done, so you want to get a crown. Another reason is not just because about the root canal being causing the tooth to get, making the tooth brittle over time. It's also the fact that by the time you're getting a root canal, you've had, for sure, definitely at some point,
Uh-huh.
a very huge cavity. So that cavity has now been switched off. We've removed whatever is going on. We've done the root
Okay.
canal.
Yeah.
We've moved it, and now we put a filling.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, we find that the ratio of the filling to the tooth
Mm-hmm.
is not even.
Mm.
Sometimes not, but usually you find that you have more tooth, more filling than
Then
tooth.
to structure.
Yes, that means
Yeah.
that in terms of structure and integrity and
Mm-hmm.
strength,
Mm-hmm.
so
Temperature.
it can break
It can
because
break
of that.
easily.
Yeah, so it's not just about the tooth becoming brittle; it's also because about the tooth and the filling have
Mm-hmm.
to have equal strength, which they
Mm.
usually don't.
Don't
So that
in
can
most
also
cases.
cause a
Yeah.
breakage.
Yeah.
So another indication would be also to get, if you have a very big filling,
Mm-hmm.
we call them restorations. If you
Mm-hmm.
have a very big restoration,
Mm-hmm.
you have a very huge filling, that would also warrant getting a crown, because a huge filling means that there's a very high chance of things like marginal leakage. That is
Mm-hmm.
when the filling gets a bit of space
Mm-hmm.
between the filling and the tooth.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it's again because of maintenance or hygiene.
Yeah.
If for whatever reason bacteria destroys the tooth a little bit, it
Mm-hmm.
affects the filling.
Mm-hmm.
It's not because the filling is bad, it's because that is as one of the small things that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a very huge filling
Mm-hmm.
on a posterior tooth or on a tooth that is in the front and it's affecting the appearance of the tooth, for
Mm-hmm.
example,
Mm-hmm.
then you'd want to switch to getting a crown on the tooth.
Mm.
Something else is also a filling that is always failing. So you have a big filling,
Mhm.
but it's chipping off. Every time you're back there after 6 months, or it's broken up again, part
Mhm.
of it has chipped off, the whole
Mhm.
thing has. So if a
Mhm.
filling has been repeated a number of times,
Mhm.
usually on the posterior teeth, then a crown is a nice, final, and permanent solution.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me ask. I think a very interesting question.
Mhm.
There are these patients
Mhm.
who come with who normally have issues with grinding their teeth together, and
Ah.
it's involuntary, right?
Mhm, mhm.
So would you advise for such patients to get crowns or veneers? Because even ideally after getting a filling, you get like attrition on the same filling that you did before.
That's true.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the best approach to that?
Yes, that can be an approach to get a veneer to, to get a crown or a veneer to be able to curb the attrition. But also, we have to look beyond that, because if the cause is bruxism, you're grinding your teeth at night. Maybe you
Yeah.
have no idea it's
Yeah.
bruxism, it's at
Yeah.
night for whatever reason, which we can get into in a different episode. Maybe reasons for that. Um, After you've had the tooth restored because of the attrition, you also have to look at making sure that this doesn't continue. So you want to advise for
Yeah.
a night guard, a night guard. So the patient should be able to have a night guard, so that after all this has been done, you don't want to again have other
Go back
issues
to the
build up.
same issue.
Yes, so you go back into now you're protecting what you've done
Yeah.
by getting a night guard, and that also helps to actually improve the issue of grinding your teeth, so that it doesn't affect the crowns, it doesn't affect the other teeth, it doesn't affect your TMJ.
Yeah.
That can also affect your TMJ over time. That is your joint, the temporomandibular joint. So apart from the crown serving that purpose, you also want to see beyond that. And yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So I tend to think I've also had the people complaining about that probably had a crown done or a veneer done and then it came out. So are they guaranteed or do they have a warranty?
So that's an
And
interesting
probably
question.
what determines the longevity of a
Longevity.
veneer or a crown?
Good question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is one of the things that it becomes very technical. So now we're talking about retention of a crown, even a filling, by the way. What we're looking at is a few things, few factors. I like to call them factors. These are factors that affect
Factors.
longevity. Yeah. So number one factor is going to be. I'll try to go from. Let me see what's a good way to go from what point to what point. Let me go from the human aspect. So the first factor is your dentist. I have to say it clearly that your dentist plays a very big role in how that crown ends up fitting in your tooth and holding on, right? So number one is your dentist. So you want to make sure that your dentist is one, a licensed dentist who understands crowns, and we call it that's part of prosthodontics and restorative dentistry. So a good practitioner. So your dentist, number one, holds the skills of making sure that the preparation of the tooth is done well. So that's number one. So your dentist. So if the dentist is good, you have a very good dentist, he's done so many crowns, that's a check. You're good. The next thing now you want to look at, which is now not about your dentist, not about you per se as a patient, but it's good information to have. But this is now more on the dentist side, is the material that's being used. So now we're looking at different material. During, let's say the crown has been done, the crown has come, the temporary crown has been removed. Now we're cementing or fitting the crown. So what we're looking at is the material that you're going to use. You have to make sure you have good, original, authentic material. So the good material that will bond well, because the tooth and the crown
must be compatible.
yes, they must be compatible. They must bond well, both mechanically and chemically. So the type of bonding material, we call it luting cement. The type of cement that is being used, as long as the material is good, you're good. That's a check. That's a check. Dentist material check. The other part now comes into now the patient. Yeah, because as a patient, you also have a role in how well the crown lasts. One of the things I tell my patients after I've done a crown is tell them, but yes, it's like a brand new tooth right now. So everything has been done well. It's upon you to make sure that this crown lasts. What that means is just general, very simple maintenance. So a crown definitely is not sitting alone. A crown has neighboring teeth. You want to be able to clean in between that crown very well. Regularly, and as safely and regular as possible. I would say once a day is good, specifically at night, because when you go to sleep at night and you have anything left between your teeth or generally around your gums, there's a lot of time while you're sleeping, and you don't have salivary flow. So everything is stagnant, the bacteria is there, and they're like, yes. So
it's our time.
Exactly. And one of two things can happen. The bacteria can eventually, over time, chronically affect the gums. So now your gums recede in any way, and that now will expose that region where your tooth and the crown meet. Because usually when you put a crown, you don't see That's what makes it so beautiful. No one knows, only
No
you
one,
and the dentist.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
once the gums go down, we have exposure of that.
Yeah. Okay.
On the flip side, let's say the gums don't get exposed. Still, we have bacteria and food, so, because you weren't able to clean well, building up between. And like we know, bacteria will destroy the tooth. They will not destroy the crown. The crown is inorganic. The tooth is organic.
Organic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So bacteria will eat up on the organic,
On the organic
and
part.
then now we have spaces building up between the crown and the tooth. And over time, you wouldn't know things are packing, and you start to realize things like bad odor. Start to realize, and then before you know it, one day it shakes and it.
Why are you actually getting into my questions?
Oh,
You are. I'm supposed to be asking you.
I'm sorry.
Apologies. You are getting into my questions. I was supposed to ask, but then most of the people always complain, why are my crowns having a fall or producing a fall smell?
Yeah, so there we go. So we've got into it. So maintenance, crowns need to be maintained. It's a very simple, easy maintenance regimen to have. Just flossing, using a mouthwash every now and then. Every now and then, not morning, evening, every now and then. If you want to do it every time, warm salt water rinses. Yep, that's another good thing to use, gargle with. So you're brushing your teeth well. You're flossing your teeth well, using the right toothpaste. You're also brushing well, not just brushing. Yeah, you're really taking your time to go through those areas well. Circular motion, not too much energy. You're using a nice soft brush, not a very hard brush to scrub your teeth clean. So that also plays a role. So generally, that tends to help. So yeah, the patients have a very big importance and role to play in how well and how long the crown lasts. We usually tell patients a crown, give it, because you see, the thing is, the way I see it is, as much as we do crowns, and we're able to give a permanent solution, it's not as perfect as your natural tooth.
Yeah.
It's something that we've done with all the science and skill, and it's been tested and proven for so many years, so it works. But we also have to give it that bit of, it's still not what God gave you. We still made it. So that being said, I usually tell my patients, we're looking at 25 to 30 years of use of a crown. Sometimes if it fails, it could be one of the reasons. So maybe the patient is not maintaining it well. Yeah.
Because I think I've also seen patients coming with they're very old. They were done like crowns 20 years ago, and then it comes like hanging on the gum. Yeah, so it's sort you can see where the crown starts, and then the roots. Yeah, and then the cervical part now of the gum.
I get you. Oh, yeah, those are things we see and we're like, oh my goodness, we're about to get into some serious journey of trying to correct that.
So what you're actually really trying to say here is that your natural teeth are much way better than doing crowns and veneers.
If the tooth is viable and it's good, it's the best. It's your best bet.
So tell something to our Hollywood guys. People are doing crowns, veneers to improve aesthetic, but then you don't know later on it might actually bring problems to you. You might actually be saying, why did I ever do this to my good teeth? And you're wondering.
Yeah, I would say, provided you have a good trusted practitioner, a good restorative and cosmetic dentist who's doing your work, number one. Two, of course, being a good and well-versed and experienced cosmetic or restorative dentist, they will for sure definitely give you the
best advice.
Post-op, what are the do's, what are the don'ts, to follow along. So at least that doesn't end up becoming you with a situation of something being done and you're not happy with the results or having other follow-up problems. So it's not that they're bad, it's just about done correctly and you understand your role in doing so.
So let me ask, Doc. I think crowns and veneers is one of the procedures that I've seen in recent times accelerate almost from zero to almost, I think, 90%. Everyone wants veneers. Everyone wants crowns, right? So do you think from your own point of view, is it something that is hyped? Is it good for the society or is it not good for the society? Because if I go to a dentist today, and I tell them I want crowns and veneers. Know how costly they are. So the dentist already knows, oh, that's good money. So definitely I'll tell you, oh, so like because I'm not your patient,
That's true.
what truth would you let out here for people to know about actually getting now the full set of crowns and veneers on both of your chests?
I see. Yeah. So number one would be to inform, because as a dentist, any dentist, your role is not just to treat, but also to inform, to educate your patient. So if a patient comes to me and the reason that they want the veneer is not warranted, yeah, it does not fall under the reasons why I would do a veneer, I would actually advise against it. But also understanding why a patient wants something helps, because now you can offer a better solution. You know, that's number one. If I was to look at the reason why they've rocketed, I think it's a number of things. Over time, I have to get into diet now. Yeah, over time, despite the world really progressing in so many different things, there's also been progress in food technology. So now we have processed food and things like that. So I think that also plays a role, because if we have a higher incidence of patients getting root canals, then by default we also might have a high chance of people getting crowns. Secondly, I think the general public is getting more and more interested in improving their appearance. That's something you cannot control at all. And I believe in that light, veneers do serve that purpose. But it's also very important to know that sometimes what your concern may be, aesthetic wise or cosmetic wise, it doesn't fall to veneers as the final and only solution. It's always important to look at what other solutions are there. There's sometimes when patients want also a shortcut. Yeah, I'm like, oh, I have this issue. My teeth are not exactly straight. So I want veneers. So I saw that out. Yes, that's one way that a veneer is not serving its purpose. Yeah. If it's a very minor misalignment, very tiny, that okay, it doesn't break the principles, it works. But usually it will not. So that's not something you want to get into. Yeah. So the best solution would be, how about straightening your teeth? Because it looks like your issue is not about the appearance of your teeth in terms of shape, it's about arrangement. So let's arrange the teeth for you and you will be happy. That's one. Secondly, some patients would be concerned with discoloration. Something that can be done with something else, something more conservative before we get into something like veneers. Maybe we can consider, how about we try getting you some whitening done and then take you through the process of how it's done and what you need to do to make sure that it stays. The results stay. And that could solve your issue of discoloration, as opposed to going for straight for veneers. So yes, veneers, they do have their place. And as long as it comes in the right place, they work well. Yeah.
Interesting. You look like a very honest doctor, honestly.
I am.
That's so.
Mhm.
Lastly, so you emphasized about how we should take care of our veneers and crowns. I think you mentioned about flossing in between your teeth, ensuring that you're brushing very well and perfectly. So after getting veneers, people think that they don't need to go to see their dentist anymore because their issue is solved. So after getting veneers or crowns done, how often should they go to the for dental checkups? Yeah.
That's a good one. So let me answer it in two ways. So number one is at least every 6 months. Why 6 months? Is because in every 6 months, ideally, you're supposed to be at your dentist for your regular checkups. So the dentist will not just check your crowns, how well it is, if there's anything wrong. They'll also check on all the other teeth. Make sure your hygiene is good. You've got your cleaning done. That's something else actually. It's good that you brought that up, because when you have your crowns and you're going for your regular, you'll find that patients who have crowns and veneers and they have a fixed, nice schedule of regular cleanings. Some may be every 6 months. Others are very careful and they even come earlier, 4 months. Others, they prolong it. But as long as you're having on a yearly basis, you've been seen at the dentist and you've had your cleaning done and you're regularly being advised on hygiene, you find that those crowns and those veneers last way longer. If there's any issue, it can be caught way earlier. Yeah. So every 6 months minimum.
Mm-hmm.
That is at least a good amount of time. So your crown is checked.
Mm-hmm.
The dentist will check in between your teeth, see if there's any pockets building up in between.
Mm-hmm.
They'll usually even floss for you, depending on who your dentist is. Floss for you and check and make sure that you're not lying. Like, yes, I've been flossing, and then things like that. So every 6 months, you're safe. You're safe. Yeah. So having your problem solved is not doesn't end there. I usually like to tell my patients that it's kind of like a car. So when you have your car, you have to go for
Oh yeah,
servicing.
yeah.
You don't service your car eventually at some point.
It will break down
Yes, and you'll spend a lot
a
more.
lot
So I'd
more.
rather spend less for basic servicing
Yeah,
and making sure everything is fine,
yeah.
as opposed to waiting for things
For
to
things to
get out of hand.
skyrocket.
Exactly.
Mm. So I think people might be interested to if they want to actually maybe come to you for dental checkups. Where can they find Dr. Moses Kinoti?
Dr. Moses Kinoti. So you can find me at the moment. I am at Parkview Dental. Parkview Dental is at T Mall. That's the third floor of T Mall. That's along Langata Road, just by the roundabout. Yeah, so you can find me there. Feel free to come. I'll be happy to see you. I'll be happy to give you my honest opinion and take you through any journey dental wise that you may be having. Any questions? I love questions.
Ah.
It allows me to inform and give my opinion. I'm still experiencing dentistry as much as
Uh-huh.
I've already experienced,
Mhm.
so there's always something new to learn. And sometimes I also learn from my patients, from what they come with and their concerns. That also informs me to know that this is something that someone is in. Oh, this is someone is worried about this thing. This
Uh,
person is needs anxiety to be reduced because of this thing. So it
mhm,
informs me as a dentist, so
mhm.
I'm able to be able to help better. So
Help
find me at
better.
T Mall, third floor, Parkview Dental. Monday to Fridays, pretty strictly. I don't work on weekends.
He's a balance master. We say that.
Yeah, so yes, pretty much. I don't think any other place, maybe at home.
Okay, okay. So that's all we had for today. See you guys for the next episode. Bye bye.